Yo, what's going on, guys? Before I get started, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You know the deal. The other thing I wanted to say is the Apex account, funded accounts, whatever, the Save 90 sale ends May 2nd. So, again, if you want to try a funded account, again, you can get them very, very cheap and they're really good practice, and it puts a little more pressure on you than just trading demo. So I'll do that. I passed about 3 so far. So if you want to do that, go click the link in the bio, the Apex, use code SAVE90. Again, it ends May 2nd, so go do that if you want. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be going over a review, which I could go to my Discord right now and show you all the index comments I put this morning. If you look at my Twitter, you can see I posted at 7 o'clock this morning. I'm coming in with a bullish bias. Okay, so I'm not going to prove that to you guys at the moment on YouTube, but if you check out my Twitter, you can see I was bullish this morning. So basically yesterday, right? Yesterday someone asked me, what's your bias? And I pointed out this fair value gap. So this fair value gap is very, very important to me. Why? Because it's just, we get so much displacement compared to all this. This is the only big green candle. So this fair value gap is going to tell me a lot, right? This fair value gap is going to tell me, okay, if we hold on a bullish. And that's what I said to the person who asked me. They said, what are your thoughts on NQ? What are your thoughts on the market? And I said, as long as we hold this on bullish, because this is the only big candle out of all these candles. You want to look at these candles relatively to how big these candles are. And if you see a big one out of the normal, right, that chances are that's going to be important. So this was a candle that was my condition. I said, if this holds, I am looking for longs. And overnight, you can kind of see we dipped into the confirmation fair value gap, right? We get a fair value gap out of a fair value gap. And as soon as I see that, and as soon as we start reacting out that, right, the draw is up because we're respecting this fair value gap. Out of this fair value gap, the draw should be to this high. And yesterday, I kind of had a target of this high, but we never hit it, which we finally hit it today, which is nice. Another thing I want to go over is, see how we kind of hit it, but it doesn't really look like we stopped people out, right? That tells me what? That tells me we're probably going to run them again and with a more explosiveness and stop these guys out, which right here we really didn't, but we still kind of tagged that high. So this morning, this is not a short I would have taken. Although it worked, not a short I would have taken. Same thing with this short right here. Not a short I would have taken. One works, one fails, right? Obviously, if you took the short, congrats, but I knew buy side was above, so there's no point in taking any of these shorts. So what happens here is we break above this bearish fair value gap and an ES. Okay, my bias was bullish here in ES. Okay, if I go to ES real quick and show you. My bias was bullish on ES, and this is just a demo trade I just did for fun. I lured that in my Discord. So on ES this morning, if I just go to the 1 hourly chart, right, my really target was right here. And at first it was right here, but obviously that's the low-hanging fruit, as we all know. So that's what I'm satisfied with. And the reason why is because 2 things. One, when I woke up, I saw, okay, we are kind of violating this fair value gap, which one tells me once we violate a bearish PD array, that tells me what? And by the way, PD stands for premium discount array, right? So if I draw a fib from high to low, this isn't premium, right? This is just called the PD array. It's a type of entry. So once we kind of violate this and I get this green candle close above here, that tells me, okay, we violated this bearish PD array. I'm sure there's many other PD arrays we violated as well. That probably tells me the draw on liquidity is probably up, okay? So that's that. So it tells me that where the draw is probably up. And what happened is I posted this and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for longs anywhere in this inverse fair value gap. And sure enough, I opened. What happened? We wicked right down into it, hit this discount zone. This is not really calculated, right? I did not expect us to hit this 0.5. Doesn't really matter. Just cool in hindsight. But we hit this 0.5, whatever, and we just bounced, right? And because we violated this PD array, when we violate a PD array, you want to see it use as support. So immediately, this already gives me the draw on liquidity. Because I know we broke above this, you always should target the next high, right? When we break above this with momentum, the target should always be the next highs, which this is the high I was really targeting. But if we go to the 4 hour, right, this high is not going to be as obvious. This is going to be the obvious high. So that was kind of my thought process going to this morning, right? I see momentum off this above this fair value gap. and I see us retrace into this hourly fair value gap, which you can see, by the way, this is a little more precise to 15-minute fair value gap, right? And same thing with OIM, same condition. We broke above this fair value gap. We came back down to it, and then as long as we hold this, I was bullish this morning. So that's kind of why I came in with a bullish bias. And if you look at NQ here, right, we can see NQ is a lot stronger. NQ kind of same deal. We were above a bunch of order blocks at this time. So see these red candles before this up move, right? These are order blocks. So we actually wicked down. We never went under the order blocks. We almost did. Held the order blocks, and then we made our way up. So all those, we were above multiple PD arrays, bullish PD arrays. We were cut through a bunch of PD arrays on ES. We already kind of did it on NQ. So NQ, we didn't really, this was the only PD array we cut through. Okay, so we cut through that. So when you see us respecting bullish PD arrays and cutting through bearish ones, right, the bias is bullish. And that's obviously easy in hindsight to say, but that's what I was kind of noticing this morning. I saw this big candle violate this and with a lot of expansion, right? So that tells me immediately what YM probably wants to go to this high, which we've not hit yet, right? Same thing with like this high. This was the low-hanging fruit high. You'd obviously hold a runner so right here, but that just tells me where the draw is. Okay, and the play that I took this morning was an ES, and I didn't really, I kind of hinted at it, but this is not, I did not alert this straight up. I took a long right here, okay? Why did I take a long right here? Well, I saw us violate this bearish PD array, violate it, we violated it, closed above it, and then we get a retrace under into a second fair value gap, which lined up with it. So that's why I kind of took it. And you can see we took out these equal lows right here as well, right? We took out these equal lows and balanced out of a volume imbalance. So it's more of a, it's also a 5-minute fair value gap. I'll just draw that for you guys. All right, it was also a 5-minute fair value gap. And it was actually lined up with the bearish fair value gap. So that was kind of my reasoning, right? I saw us bounce off that, and then I was like, okay, we swept liquidity. Here's a 2022 model. We broke above a bearish PD array. That's where I was longing. So I sold up here somewhat, so got a decent move out of it. Didn't hold the whole way, but again, it was still a pretty good play. And even like in this kind of thing, I was live and I was telling people not to short. Okay, why would you not short this? It's because if you look at the daily, I know at this point in time, we still have this daily unbalanced fair value gap up here. So I'm expecting this to get rebalanced, which means what? Which means this high should be hit. So when we were kind of in this area right here, I was like, okay, I'm not trusting this. There's still an untapped high, daily fair value gap above. So any of this, you just would not have shorted. And immediately if you see this, this is kind of, okay, you see a lot of momentum here. You could probably chase this, you know. This just tells you we're going for the high in that leg, you know. So again, that's why you want to have shorted it. And if you look at NQ at the same time, I kind of use a little bit of 3D analysis. NQ held this 5-minute fair value gap at the same time versus if you look at ES, we did not. So ES went a little under. Okay, you can kind of see ES violated a little bit, but we still kind of stayed above these order blocks, this kind of double order block. So we stayed above the order blocks, right? We never closed below the mean threshold. The mean threshold would be from this close to this open, right? We never closed under it. And at the same time, NQ was respecting this. So that was that. And again, there's really been no short setups. Someone told me they took a short setup right here, which I think that's fine. I think this is more one of those low risk buys. Okay, it's a low risk buy because there's technically kind of a market structure shift here, not really strong displacement yet, but we're not really in bearish order flow yet. This is also a low risk buy with good risk reward. So it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like a play where I'd take and think it's going to work every time, you know? So, and again, all this is a retracement to a higher time frame fair value gap. So you just got to be very careful. Usually what I like to see is I like to see like at least one bearish fair value gap violated or bullish fair value gap violated, then I'll start to look for a short. So, yeah, that's a little review on today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to use the Apex code in my bio. So, yeah, other than that, peace out.